Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm going to go and connect to my page.
Hi, how are you?
Whoops. Let's erase that sound immediately. There we go. Much better, much better. All right, let's go over here to the page. It's beautiful here. It's just beautiful here. A little bit chilly. What can we do? Nothing. Not a thing. Not a thing. But we're enjoying it. All right, let's see. Here we are. So have you had the opportunity, the privilege, the pleasure of attending a Christian Writers
All
Conference?
right, let's see.
Here we are. I hope that you have. I hope you've been able to attend a Christian Writers Conference or a Speakers Conference, but today we're talking exclusively about Christian Writers Conferences and those in the USA in the months of April and May. Now, actually there are three that I want to talk to you about today. I'm Patricia Durkin, the Christian Message Coach. I'm glad you're here today. This is One Step Closer, the live show designed to help you take the mystery out of marketing your message online. I've been able to attend several Christian Writers Conferences, and they are so wonderful. Each has its own flavor. Each has its own style, of course. The directors, they reflect their directors. If a director is passionate about missions, then there are, keynoters that talk about missions, monetizing, whatever that director's passion is. It's not at the forefront because the writing and the teaching and the learning is there and the connecting with other Christian writers. But the director's heart does seep through. Today I'm going to talk to you about three different Christian Writers Conferences. Lost my train of thought there. Let me go to share my screen and we'll get right to it, shall we? All right. Here we are. The very first one is also the very first one that's, I've done this by dates. This is Authors for Authors. Now, this is the only one that on today that I haven't attended. And I really just found out about it, which is surprising because there are several Christian writer conferences in the state of Florida. And I'm familiar, I thought, with all of them, but this one snuck by me. This is Authors for Authors. This is a one-day event. So here's just some basic information. This is their spring event. They have several different things that they do during the year. This is their spring event, April the 22nd, which is right around the corner. And here's the most important part. Registration is Sunday, the 15th. That's the deadline for registration. Now, because this is only one day, it's also inexpensive. It's only $50, and that is a steal of a deal for any writers' conference. Excuse me. It is in Florida. So it's not convenient for everyone, but for those who could make it, oh my goodness, I know it's just going to be a great thing. They cover all kinds of genres: historical fiction, children's books, nonfiction, poetry, dystopian, military and war, memoir. They talk about all of that. So find out more or sign up for Authors for Authors, $50. It's coming up right around the corner. Don't delay. This Sunday, the 15th, is the last day to register for it. And it's such a good opportunity. If you've never gone to a writers' conference, this may be the ideal one. Because it's one day, so you get in, you get your feet wet, you fall in love with the process, you gobble up all kinds of information, meet new people, and then you go home. Not a lot of investment, even though your heart will be invested in Christian Writers Conferences from then on. Next, let's go to the next one in line, which is also a little bit of trouble with my cursor. It's a little stubborn today, and I can't tell you why that is. Here we go. Thank you, Lord. Colorado Christian Writers Conferences. Now, this is one of the big kahoots. well established. This is conducted by Marlene Bagnall. She's been the director. She didn't create this one. She inherited this one, but she's had it for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. She has another upcoming, conference, Christian Writers Conference. But we'll talk about that in another month because that's in Philadelphia and it's in the month of August. Today, we're only talking about April and May conferences. One of the things that I love so much is Marlene's heart. She has a heart for writers. She has a heart for missions, and she does a great job of combining both of those together. And I also love the fact that she has a heart for writers' pocketbooks also. This is really important because writers' conferences can be costly. I mean, we're talking about travel, lodging, food, and then the conference price itself. Excuse me. Still just a little bit of a tickle there with my bronchitis that's still holding out. What I love also about Marlene is that she has made it, the prices as affordable as possible, and there is scholarship help for the Colorado Christian Writers Conference. There is a process for you to apply and be approved, go through the process. It's so helpful to be able to have a leg up or a helping hand or fill in the blank with the terminology that you would like to use. Excuse me. And in addition to keeping the cost as low as possible and offering a limited number of scholarships, she also allows us to have time payments. So it's not necessary for us to go into deep debt. Marlene makes it so that if we need to stretch the payments out, then we're able to do that. Let's see. I love that. Now, one of the things that she started doing at other conference, and she's just now starting it in this conference, and that is that she's offering headshots. She's not. She's allowing a photographer, a professional photographer, to go to attend and be part of the staff. And hey, Tabitha, how are you? And Elisa, so good to see both of you here. She has made arrangements for a professional photographer to come, and for an uber great price, $35, you can get a headshot. This is so helpful for us. We need headshots for our websites and for our business cards, and also for our bios on our websites, as well as, you know it, on our book covers. So this is a great opportunity to learn. She has 59 faculty members in this Estes Park. Now, I forgot to tell you, this is in Colorado, which, it's in Estes Park, which is the YMCA camp in Colorado. And I'm telling you, I've been to this, it is stunning. It's a stunning location. So beautiful. And one of the tricky parts is that the weather is volatile. That high up, you have to sort of plan, but think, put your thinking cap on, pay attention to what you're doing. If it's going to be snowing, believe them if they say it's going to snow, pack for snow. Otherwise, I've been in there in the spring and it was just beautiful, and light jacket was all we needed. There are so many people that you can meet and become fast friends with at a Christian Writers Conference. One of the things that I love so much about them is that you meet people who are like-minded. And if you have a message, excuse me, and you want to deliver it for God's glory, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, poetry, children's books, whether it's mystery or whatever your genre, going to a Christian Writers Conference will energize you in a way that nothing else will do in the writer's world. That's just point blank, all there is to it. Put that down in black and white. Marlene's is coming up. Hers is May the 16th through the 19th. She makes people welcome. There's great food, great fellowship. The lodging is at a YMCA camp. It's very affordable. Scholarships are available. Time payments are available. If you're in that neck of the woods, or you know someone who lives there and you could piggyback a visit onto them, Go. I just encourage you to go. Let me see if we have any comments because I don't want to miss those. Nope, we're doing good. Pardon me. The last one I want to tell you about today is the Blue Ridge Mountain Christian Writers Conference. That's a big old mouthful, isn't it? Well, that's headed mostly, co-directed by Meady Nelson, and I apologize, but I cannot remember the other lady's name. This is held in Asheville, North Carolina. And again, it's just a gorgeous setting. It's very wise when people create environments that call us to ponder, pray, walk quietly, see the beautiful scenery, engage with other people around us, have quiet time, learn. These conferences that I'm talking about, Colleen's at Colorado and Edie's at Ridgecrest, they have writers' conference workshops, which are standalone. They have continuing sessions. They have specialists who come in and devote their time, and they're just fabulous, fabulous resources. And one of the things that I failed to mention about Marlene's, and is still also available at Ridgecrest, or Edie's at Ridgecrest, is that they offer paid critiques and 15-minute appointments. Now, if you've never been, what does that mean? What does that mean? A 15-minute appointment at a Christian Writers Conference is where you have something that you want to share with a professional in the business. And you want them to look at what you're doing, what you're offering, what you've written, and give you feedback that's just one-on-one. You don't have to follow them to the bathroom. You don't have to bunk with them. You just are living life, and you have a 15-minute designated 15-minute appointment one-on-one with that faculty member. So whether that faculty member is another writer, or if they're a publisher, or if they're an agent, and they're looking for new authors to work with, these are relationships that you can build that would not be available to you in other ways. What do I mean by that? Well, we can always submit our proposals to any number of Christian publishers, right? We can do that via mail. We go back and forth, and hopefully over months or years we develop a relationship. But if you go to a Christian Writers Conference and you meet them over the coffee in the morning at breakfast, you are walking to the dorm and there they are walking themselves. When you engage with them in their classrooms, the classrooms that they teach, whether it's a workshop or continuing session, when you get to know them and you get that vibe that we get when we only are in person, we don't get that vibe any other way, that one-on-one connection, we can open doors and begin relationships that can last for decades. This person can become an advocate for us, whether they're an agent, a publisher, another writer, a columnist, whatever their field and whatever their specialty. We are ahead of the game when we know multiple people in the publishing business. Let's see. Still doing good. So a 15-minute appointment at both Marlene's Colorado Conference and Edie's Ridgecrest Conference is available. And they have a set number when you go and look at their website. There's a set number of 15-minute appointments. And here's the deal. You know, you can play this. It's free. It's free. $0. Because these are included in the price of the registration price of the conference. So you may have, according to which conference, not only these, we'll discuss other conferences as they come up, but each director sets the guidelines for the number of free appointments, 15-minute appointments, each attendee is allowed. So if that conference A, or conference B, or conference C, they will tell you it's individual to that conference how many free 15-minute appointments they have with a professional. You may have 2, you may have 3. Some even tie a bonus appointment onto, if you sign up for an early bird, if you are in the mix of the people who sign up early and you don't come in on the last day. So do check out these writers' conferences for 15-minute appointments. And also there's a paid critique, which both of these conferences also offer. It's not necessary that they're not obligated to offer them, but once again, this is something that they do to give you one more shot at speaking to a professional who will look at your work and give you feedback. Now, this is different than a one-on-one appointment because they're different and yet the same. Okay? The goal is the same, and the individual may be the same. But you can pay anywhere from $25 to $50, depending upon the conference and the guidelines for that conference, for a paid critique. And in this case, you send your work in ahead of time. There's a deadline, a guideline, there's all kinds of rules, and that's all available on the websites for each particular conference. So you would submit your work, and they will tell you how many pages or how many words to submit, how many chapters to submit. All of that information is under the paid critique tab on the individual Christian Writers Conference. So you send them in, you send your work in along with your money usually at that time. Then it's usually 4 weeks out, maybe 6 weeks out, according to each faculty member's schedule. They know how much free time they're going to have between the time they receive your work and the time the conference is active. So at that point, when you sit down for your appointment with them, this is in addition to, not instead of, your free paid appointments with whomever the faculty member may be. When you sit down for your paid critique, you may get, depending upon that professional and their work style, you may get a line-by-line edit, you may get a content edit, you may get an overview of your work, strengths and weaknesses. Each particular individual is unique, so they have individual, unique approaches to giving critique. It's so interesting to participate in both the free 15-minute appointment. In that scenario, you sit down and you bring your work with you, and then the faculty member looks at it right there while you're looking at your work. So that's a little bit off-the-cuff information that they would be giving you. The paid critiques are you send in your work ahead of time. They have time to work it into their schedule. They give you a thorough critique and give you points to ponder, to correct, kudos when they're due, and perhaps an invitation to send your work in to them when you have corrected whatever they suggested that be corrected. Now, Edie also at Ridgecrest in South Carolina, North Carolina, pardon me, yeah, North Carolina. Edie also this year is allowing headshots to be offered. Neither conference director is in charge of these photographers, but they are allowing the photographers to come in and be a faculty member and then take headshots. And there's usually a price associated with that. But it's so minimal, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you get a chance to attend either one of these conferences, the larger ones, Authors for Authors does not have anybody that I saw that was a faculty member that was going to offer headshots. They may happen. Might be impromptu. It might be next year. But if you get a chance to do something like this, it's so reasonably priced and so helpful for you. They deliver that typically. I don't speak for the photographers, but typically they're delivered. The photos are delivered after the conference. You walk away with all of these newfound friends who maybe in your whole life up till now, you haven't had anybody who's as giddy about writing and the various topics that you're interested in. The people at your home church or even in your family, they get it on a conceptual level, but they don't know what it's like to breathe the writer's air. And the people at a Christian Writers Conference, from the director all the way down to the janitor, they all know that. They all want to, we get together and we feed off of each other in a great, great positive way. Whereas in a Christian Writers Conference, there's always worship as well. So we get to pray together with new friends. reconnect with old friends. And the cost is, even though it's not inexpensive, the cost is very reasonable for what you get. Here's the friendship, and perhaps your very first or your next step into the publishing arena. So who do you know who's trying to market their message online? Who do you know that's trying to market their message online? Maybe they would find this available, this training helpful to them. Would you share this video with your friends? Join me tomorrow when I'll show you 3 surprising ways to get great headlines and a tool that you can analyze your headlines before you even sit down to write your blog post or your ebook or your lead magnet, fill in the blank. I'm Patricia Durkin. Thanks very much for joining me. I pray that this show, One Step Closer, helps you get one step closer to monetizing your message online. Thanks for joining me today.